Hey, yo, what is going down with it once again, ladies and gentlemen, bros, women, fanboys, and fangirls, and of course, as always, and takas and hikikomores out there, this is the one, the only, of course, Mr. Nintendo Sony Free 2011, aka Mania Wolverine, and of course, you guys are wrestling intros and outros towards this channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, all the good stuff, and today, actually, it's about a couple days ago, but I still wanted to talk about it nonetheless. This one's about 3 days ago, even though, granted, it's kind of not too old. It's 3rd of August, but I only heard about it 3 days ago. Shout out to my boy, Christopher Stonefox Media. I'll leave the link to his video down below talking about this. So there's that. And this is like the only thing I could find that was real big last week, but couldn't really find nothing for this week because it's already Sunday and the week's starting. So yeah, I know this is the main meat and potatoes, bread and butter of this video I'm going to be talking about. But I want to get to this one real quick first because it's a lot shorter. I can do my overall thoughts, views, and opinions a lot more faster on this one. So, oh, and I apologize because I'm not as loud as I normally am, my friends. But actually, I think one of my roommates had some like company over or something, so I can't be as loud as I normally would be. But nevertheless, here we go. So it says Nintendo has already officially clarified how exactly NES is pronounced. The short answer is NES. The only thing I could bring this thing real quick, just a real quick side thought or side note here, is that what is it called? Only other type of iconic Nintendo character that's spelled Ness is a dude from Earthbound Mother series, Ness. The one, the one that always kicks the punching bag out of like in the middle of everywhere. If any of you guys ever played Melee or even any of the other Super Smash Bros. Games, and obviously with the upcoming Smash Bros. Ultimate, which nobody's extremely overhyped for that. They must either be living under a rock, A, or B, they're not a real big Nintendo fan, or they just don't give a shit about Nintendo, which it is what it is. Not to sound like a biased prick or an asshole, but they are missing out on a fuck ton of good ass amazing Nintendo games. I'm not saying every Nintendo game is iconic and great, because the two main Nintendo games I never gave a shit about was the Animal Crossing series, and I know are a couple people that like that, along with what's the other series, like Nintendogs or other third-party brands I never really cared for. Nintendo, what they tried to do, even like Billy Hatcher back in the days. Or even Beautiful Joe. I know that one was cool. Wonderful 101. I wasn't too crazy about it, though. But anyways, here we go. So it says, fans of the Nintendo gaming system. And shout out to the person that made this really quick, really quick small article. Aisha, I think I say Ashias Isaac, or Ashias Isaac. I'm just going to call her Aishas. So it says, fans of the Nintendo gaming system have long wondered and argued about exactly how NES, short for Nintendo Entertainment System, is pronounced. Now, Nintendo has finally cleared up all the doubt in exactly how you pronounce this abbreviation for Nintendo's first home console that was released back in 1983. Literally like 5 years before I was even alive. The one I grew up with, even though granted, yes, NES, I did play a few of those games back in the days, but if any of you guys remember any of my older videos, or even almost my previous videos, sometimes, half the times I'll say yes. When I was a 90s kid, I only got to play a few of those, but SNES was the one I grew up with a lot more than I did with NES. I'm just saying, just putting it out there. And it was one of my older cousins that originally owned the NES, and then the one I never had to own, which was N64. Just the coolest person on earth of all time. Anyways, he goes on to say, there have been various contenders for how NES must be pronounced, ranging from NES to NES, even with some even spelling out each of the letters of the abbreviation. However, on Twitter, one Twitter user pointed out that the correct pronunciation is stated in the museum section of the Japanese version of WarioWare Gold. In a description of the home console, Nintendo confirms that the NES is pronounced as NES. However, there are certainly many gamers who have grown up pronouncing it in various ways. Actually, no, when I was a 90s kid, I used to actually pronounce it NIS instead of NES. I know it sounds weird as fuck, that's how I used to say it. Moving on. And I don't think even official confirmation is enough to change that. Those who've argued otherwise will likely continue to do so. If anything, however, this puts an end to the debate regarding what the correct pronunciation is. Will you be changing your pronunciation that you know officially is confirmed is the officially confirmed version? Let us know in the comments. And this is a real old school, and this must have been the one from like the mid-late 80s at the time. This is a very, very extremely huge-ass iconic classic old school NES at the time. And I think this is the more like modern one that just came out like 2 years ago in 2016. And then they revamped it, I think, last year and again earlier this year, the NES Mini. And unfortunately, I never had the original NES, though. But like I said before, I said again, a certain member of my family, my older cousin, was the coolest motherfucker on the planet. Actually owned one of these bad boys. I think he still owns it to this day. But other than that, let's move forward to the big meat and potatoes. I know it's a little bit of a soul-crushing, depressing sort of thing to cover, but I had to cover it because it's sort of kind of Nintendo related, but it's kind of like the darker business side of what they unfortunately stand out to and what they represent half the time, not all the time. While I agree with some of their business, financing, marketing strategy tactics, but this one's kind of unfortunately not one of them. So it says Emuparadise, I think that's how you say it, one of the world's longest running, most popular emulator communities announced today. Actually, for me, not just being a modern gamer, I'm still kind of an old school gamer as well. I've mentioned that massive amounts of times on this channel. Let's move forward. So it says, announced today that in the face of recent legal actions against pirated sites, it will be, quote, changing in quotation marks, in effect ceasing to offer ROM versions of Nintendo and any other company in old class. This is a little bit of a lengthy video. It will be a lengthy video, but the title's just as long. So let's move forward. Masa J's founder site says, quote, it's not worth for us to risk up potentially disastrous consequences. I cannot in good conscientiousness, I think that's what it was, coincidence, risk its futures and our team members who have contributed to the good site, contributed to the site in this year. This is what happens. I can barely read it all when it comes to like super long ass articles like this, but hey, I'm gonna keep going for it. Fuck it. Where did I leave off? Alright, there I go. Throughout these years, we run Emuparadise and love the retro games for you to be able to revisit in those good times. Unfortunately, it's not possible right now to do so in any way that makes everyone happy and keeps us out of trouble. And this goes on to say, it should have been another like quotation mark there, I don't know why. Emuparadise has been running since 2000, and it's a good bet that many of you have visited the site from time to time. I think it goes 2004 or 05 for me. I'll just get to that later though. Alright, moving on. It says, it's easily one of the most popular ROM hack and emulator destinations online. To download a classic game from your childhood, that you felt like catching up with. While the site isn't technically closed down, it is ceasing to distribute ROMs of other people's games. And this is from one of the, not really CEOs, one of the boss managers, I guess, from the Emuparadise originally. He goes on to say, thus, we have decided to make a new start. We will continue to be passionate retro gamers, and we'll keep doing cool stuff around retro games. But you won't be able to get your games from here and now. Where we go with this is up to us and up to you. Unquote. It should be a quote and unquote. I don't know why they do that, Kotaku. Come on. Don't be a lazy little bitch. Alright, so it says, you can't blame Masa J, or his team members for reacting like this. Jacob Mastis, oh, that's his full name, I didn't know that. The owner of the Love ROMs currently stands to lose millions if a court decides in Nintendo's favor. And while old video games are cool and fun, hosting some on the website is not on the hill anymore to financially die upon. Yet it's hard to also feel sad for some of the sadness on this trend, if not a little angry, yeah. Playing these games for free is technically illegal, but companies like Nintendo have been so bad at making their back catalogs. This is the article saying this, not me. Luke Plant took. So don't kill the messenger saying. Alright, let's move forward. making back catalogs easily available for the ROMs. Sites to have long been providing a level of services that video game publishers have not been unable or unwilling to match. It's kind of like that music piracy arguments from the 2000s where record labels fought a losing battle against the consumers who preferred the convenience and accessibility that piracies provided. Only it's hard picturing companies like Nintendo and Sega even reconciling that Spotify and Netflix types servers for their back catalogs, and its answers to their current legal crusades. Also worth noting is that preservation benefits like Emuparadise, which provide Frank and CEDALEF, were here. So please read the whole thread. There's a couple other little pictures and stuff down there too. You guys can look at it yourself in the discussions thread, so you guys can check that all out for yourself. So yeah, Luke Planter's the one that made this one. Shout out to him. So overall thoughts and opinions on this unfortunate situation that happened a couple days ago. Really is a little bit of a kick in the balls to a lot of old school retro gamers such as myself, because to be honest with you people, I grew up with a lot of those things. Even going to the arcade as young as 6-7 years old as a 90s kid, during the mid-late 90s, I was pretty much 80% of my life as a 90s kid. 10-20% would be on me. I'll still go out to the park and, fly kites and play frisbee with a couple of my cousins and stuff, because unfortunately, I didn't really have any IRL friends outside of my cousins being my pretty much the only friends I grew up with. Thank God for them, because who knows what the hell I would have been doing with my life if it wasn't for them. But to be 110% again, thoroughly realistic, touching base with you guys, this isn't a cool look. I mean, it's really, man, this is a thorn in my side, to be honest with you people, because it's taken away a lot of classic old school childhood stuff that I had growing up as a 90s kid. Half of the arcades cabinets were from the 80s, or a few that were still from the 90s as well, like the Arm Wrestler game, a couple other ones, like the classic Simpsons one. That was a really big one at the time. And what else was out there? A couple other ones I'm trying to think, like some of the Bandai Namco shooter style games, which was really cool at the time, like FPS, first person shooter. I gotta make sure I say that word right, because I don't want YouTube to the algorithm to be coming after me. And a couple other ones. There's thousands, probably even millions. A lot even the ski simulator ones from Sega. That one along with the snowboarder ones, and even the motorbike ones. Oh my god. Those have so many nostalgic feels for me, it's ridiculous. And to have almost all of those taken away because Nintendo decided to do a cease and desist. I don't know if the Nintendo's going to decide to DDoS or dox them. Emuparadise, I mean, they're a $1 trillion entity company. I get where they're coming from. They want to protect their brand. They want to protect all their businesses and licensings and all that's really important, Business Insider, jabba yammering stuff over there. But at the same time, it's we come down to the same argument as how can we make this better? How in the world are we going to make this more better for the gamers that want to play this shit for free? Unless, Nintendo starts supporting even more indie games. I know they supported a couple indie games in the past. I don't even have to go into that discussion. That's a whole other topic for a different video. But yeah, that's all I got to say for now. And yeah, but at least on a lighter note, we can all call the NES NES now. Every time I want to call them, I'm going to think about the Earthbound, another main character NES from not just the Smash Bros. Series, but from the Earthbound series. And fun fact, I'll leave you with a really funny inside joke. Many of you guys obviously grew up with Pokemon like I did. I think Earthbound Mother series was originally based off a lot of the Pokemon, the Pokemon character NPC character series. Crazy shit, but it's true. With that being said, that's it. Links to the description box down below. Cartel no Sai, shout out to Stone Fox Media for talking about this earlier, a couple days ago on his channel. So I found out about this news article, and I'm not here. Peace out once again, ladies and gentlemen, bros, women, fanboys, and fangirls, and of course, as always, Otakus and Nikki Komodis out there. I will see you when I see you guys. Good day, have a good night, wherever you're at around the world out there. Links more at the same time, so it's reckless. Stay tuned for future article session reviews, including video gaming industry news, anime manga news, internet news. When September comes around the corner next month, I'll be posting more outdoor chat and breeze vlog video content. I will do. And of course, as always, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, peace out, my sauerkraut. Stay safe. Take it easy. Lights and goodbye. We'll see you on the flip side. Take care, and I am gone.